A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer. While obtaining regular meat is a process that's been taking place for millennia, cow, butcher, beef, Redefined Meat, a meat alternative startup out of Israel, makes their product using a highly technical process.
Shalom. Let's just start by giving over and on to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahshai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and also great millstone, likewise, brothers, put on the truth. Faithfully fair to see, feeding the sheep, and to you, brothers and sisters. Tuning in, Shalom. Today's lesson's title, There's None That Do It Good. Let's go into the book of Revelation 12 and 12, and it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And a lot of this wrath is going to be, of course, you have the implementation of the MOTB. You have these revocation of freedom of speech. Okay, so that rights that people thought that they had, that's going to be gone. Okay, but one of the most dramatic and drastic thing that's going to be taking place is going to be that famine. Of course, we know the Lord Yahweh Shai is in control of all of this, but Esau, the so-called white man, is going to be the hand that bring forth all of these judgments, okay, on the people that are continuously following him in this world. Okay, now in the opening clip you saw where they're doing this artificial meat through 3D printing, okay, and you notice when I replayed it twice that it's a startup company out there in Israel, okay, the state of Israel, okay, our land where these fake people, okay, are residing right now currently until the Lord Yahweh Shai destroy them out of that land. Okay, but you can see here the wickedness of this man. Okay, he's coming up with ways right now in which he can get a lot of his pharmaceutical products, or those juice, the one that we avoided a couple of years ago, into this product. Okay, and I'm going to be playing more clips, and you're going to see, okay, how this process actually works. And of course, you can hear from the man himself. Okay, the one that was pushing, okay, for Jake Stem to get the job a few years ago, and how he has gone out of his way to buy up all the farmlands, blaming the animals that the Lord Yahweh created, okay, as the cause of environmental pollution. And we know the real environmental pollution is none other than Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. So let me play this short clip here for you.
Soon, the entire world will start eating meat printed by a printer, and we won't even be able to tell if it's real meat or not. This isn't a plot from Black Mirror, it's our reality unfolding. Here's why printed meat resembles real meat so closely. The 3D printers use special bio-inks to create it. These bio-inks are actually made from stem cells extracted from different animals depending on the desired type of meat: beef, pork, poultry, or even fish. In a laboratory, these cells then multiply, interact, and differentiate into the fat and muscle cells that make up bio-ink. These bio-inks are then intricately layered by specialized 3D printers to construct meat products that closely mimic the texture, taste, and nutritional composition of traditional meats. This is identical to real beef, and when it is ready and served, even the smell is the same. Scientists claim that by using this technology, the environmental impact associated with conventional livestock farming will be greatly reduced. So would you eat printed meat?
Now, you saw that clip, okay, and, this has been, spreading around a little bit, for the last couple of years. In fact, this isn't something new. They were looking at this for a long time. In fact, when you go into this movie here, which I'll play a short clip from this called Soylent Green, okay, in which when you look at the poster here, it says 2022, okay, they're having a food crisis and some issues. Now, this is 2025, we're going into 2026, and right now they're talking about food crisis and issues and how they're going to solve that. They're going to do a two problem solving, situation here. One is they're going to make the environment better by getting rid of the natural food sources, which is the animals that the Lord Yahweh created for our consumption. Okay, albeit there are those animals that we can't consume, and I'll go into that just a little bit, touch on that from the book of Leviticus, chapter 11. Okay, but, you can see this is part of that control scenario here. Okay, now before I play this clip here, let me go into the scripture. It's Ecclesiasticus 13 and verse 23. It reads, "When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he said. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him." Well, I'm a poor man. Bill Gates, he's a rich man. He's speaking, and you can hear the crap that's coming out of his mouth. And you don't have to be a billionaire or a scientist or a computer scientist to know, okay, that what he's saying is complete and utter bullshit. Listen to this.
One crucial part is agriculture, and one thing you said you were particularly surprised by was how great a problem bovine flatulence is. Do you want to explain what that is and why it's a problem?
Yeah, so the animals that can eat grass have very unusual stomachs that have these bacteria that are methanogenic in there, and so they leak natural gas both out the front and the back. And so people have said, well, let's change the hay or throw some things in there. And it's been, nobody knows how to get rid of
no one knows how to get cows to stop farting.
Exactly, or burping. And so there is artificial meat, but that's at a very early stage. But that's another big source of greenhouse gas emissions. So, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that the people who acknowledge the problem, which I think is fantastic, that they understand the breadth of innovation required before you can get anywhere near to what we have to do, which is zero.
And as you can see here, you know, I mean, this man is saying cow fire is a cause of, you know, the ozone layer thinning out. Okay, it's not the so-called white man who's spraying, you know, chemicals in the air from jetliners and, you know, through his nuclear testing, you know, about 80, 90 years ago, and all the other things that he's doing, you know, all that's causing the greenhouse effect. Okay, we already know if there's going to be an end to Esau's kingdom and the beginning, okay, of the world that follow after, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven, then the earth is never going to die, okay? No matter what this man does, he's not going to destroy the creation, okay? Let's go into the book of Leviticus 11, and let's talk about certain dietary laws that we have to follow, because, you know, this is something that, you know, for you who are new in this, you need to understand that if they're talking about those 3D printed meat and they say they could use meat or beef and anything else, okay, what else could they actually use inside there, okay? And before I actually go into this, you know what, let's go into the short clip of Sullivan Green here.
Get to the exchange. You gotta tell them they're right.
But let's take care of you first.
What? You don't understand. I've got proof. They need proof. I've seen it. I've seen it happening. They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
The ocean's dying. The plankton's dying. It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
They're making our food out of people.
Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent Green is people!
And as you saw in that clip, okay, what did he say was inside, you know, who was supposed to be their version? And this movie was made in 1970, I think 1972, 1973 with Charlton Heston. Okay, you can see that they was thinking about this from a long time ago, what they're going to do. Okay, and you remember Bill Gates mentioned that they were looking into this artificial food creation, you know, that has a other set of problems that they got to solve and all that stuff. But you can see here that what they were selling to the public in that movie was that they were using planktons and stuff like that, you know, up to that point the environment was in chaos, and they had to come up with a solution to feed people. But as it turned out, they were using dead people. They were using dead people as a source of food. So when you look at how they're doing this 3D printed meat here, and you can see the 3 different labels that they have there, it could be a hell of a lot more. This is what they're showing us, okay? And they're putting this all together to create this meat. Who the hell knows what kind of abomination is inside of this stuff? I mean, it could be any of the things that is unlawful for us to touch, such as when we go into Leviticus 11 and verse 4 reads, "Nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as a camel, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof, he's unclean to you." You go to verse 7, it says, "And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-foot, yet he cheweth not the cud, he's unclean to you. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you." I have a picture here that's showing you all the animals that are unclean, those that are clean, okay? And most likely Esau is going to use what? Because he's trying to get rid of the clean animals, of course. He's going to use the unclean animals, not to mention, okay, we're going into a time right now where there could be great chaos and people killing each other, or they're going to be out there killing each other. Who's to say he doesn't take the dead bodies of people on the streets, or dead animals, or these abominable animals, and use it in this, okay? I wouldn't put it past him, okay? You look at verse 8, verse 10, it says, "And all that have no fins and scale in the sea and the rivers, of all that move in the water, and of living thing which is in the water, they shall be an abomination to you." So you have to eat fish with scales, okay, and fins, okay? Anything else, you can't eat eel, catfish, all those things like that. Those are an abomination to us. So Jake's, you might not have heard it before. I mean, I did it. I ate certain things that is on here that's, against what we're supposed to eat. But now I know better, so I don't eat those things, okay? And when you go into the fowls and the birds, okay, and it says, "And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination: the eagle and the ostrich and the osprey." And then you have, "And the vulture and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl and the nighthawk and the cuckoo and the hawk after his kind." And it goes on and on. Okay, so birds of prey we're not supposed to eat. Okay, keep in mind in Genesis 1, what did the Lord Yahweh Shai say after each creation? He saw that it was all good. Okay, but what you have, okay, is a devil that he just can't behave. There is none that do it good. This man cannot be trusted. Okay, Lord willing, like we said, if I let goes back all going on into Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.